Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Marquette Golden Eagles Dynasty here on NCAA Football 14. The last time out, our Golden Eagles suffered a tough loss there against the UConn Huskies, but now we look to right the ship in our last road game of the season here against the Louisiana Tech Bulldogs. The Bulldogs come in at 6-4, Marquette 7-3 in a battle of two evenly matched teams. The Bulldogs have Skip Holtz as their head coach, and he's enjoyed very good success here in Conference USA play in his third season. So same story here with Lance Leipold, and I believe now we're 17-18 all time, so one game under 500, and we'll try to get back to that mark here today as we're here from Joe Allet Stadium in Louisiana Tech. Another matchup here against a Conference USA opponent. And I believe we are 2-0 this year against CUSA teams, against Middle Tennessee State and Florida Atlantic. We do lose the opening coin toss, and they do elect a kick. So we're going to start with the ball here on the road. And our offense really struggled to get any sort of momentum or consistency last week. And we're going to rely more so on the running game here. But we'll let Chance Pellin take it out and maybe give us some better field position as he does work it up the left seam there and past the 31. We're going to take over play calling duties again this week after Bobby Goss, our offensive coordinator, we didn't really like what he was doing last week. I'll start here with a run for Dowling and a shifty run there as he moves up the middle for 9. Good agility and quickness showcased by Dowling on that run. Now 2nd and 1 here. We'll give it right back to him. And tough running as he gets ahead for 3 in the first down. Last week we really struggled to establish any sort of offensive flow. This week we're just going to let the running game do its sting as now Theo Briggs gets in on the action 6 yards to midfield. We're going to let the running game do its thing and try and open up the passing game. Now 2nd and 4, Theo Briggs still out there and he'll get it again. Good running, hit hard, hangs on, 6 yards that time. And now for the impact players on the Louisiana Tech defense, starting with Vernon Butler, the senior defensive tackle, 83 overall. Good strength there at 86. Good plug there in the middle. 88 power move, so he can definitely get home to the quarterback. 83 hit power. And he went on to be a first-round pick with the Carolina Panthers back in the day. This year, not a big sack production, but you love the tackles for loss, 20 over the last 2 seasons. And the Bulldogs very weak at each defensive end spot, so we're going to try and focus on some outside runs, and I think the read option might work well for us today as well. And then we'll jump back into the secondary. Bryson Abraham, what an athlete with the 95 speed, 93 acceleration, 83 overall, their shutdown corner, and good zone and man there at 88. The press, not so good, so I think we might be able to take some deep shots here. Their safety's very weak, at least speed-wise, so I think we'll rely on the running game like I've been saying, but I think we'll mix in some deep shots and maybe try and get one for F.A. Scott and Wakpour, who we have in a starting role today, or Jordan Pinson. Abraham, 3 interceptions on the year, 10 pass deflections, so he's always around the ball there in coverage. And then at strong safety, they have Lloyd Grogan, 84 overall, the highest player on this defense. Not the best athlete, like I said, 85 speed, but very good traits. He's good in zone. Tremendous play rec at 94 and pursuit at 91. So he can read the play and he can make plays against the pass or the run. 5 interceptions this season, 1 for a pick 6 and 3 pass deflections. So definitely have to watch out for him, although the 85 speed, not the best. Grogan there at strong safety with 85 speed and their free safety with 83 speed. So like I've been saying, I think we'll try and test the bounds vertically in this game. Another good run there for Dowling as we get him back in there. Now 2nd and 4. And they'll give it right back to the ground game. Dowling trying to work it outside, held up there along the edge. A big hit. And nothing doing that time. 3rd and 3. The first 3rd down faced here for the Golden Eagles. And they'll go right back to the running game. And Dexter Dowling doesn't quite get it. But a 4th and inches. And I think we just bring out Theo Briggs. Just a tip of the football away from our first down here. And we'll just give it to the fullback, actually. And Jeff Harris, look at the wheels on him working in the middle with those cuts. 11 yards, probably his longest rush of his career. No passes yet here for Greg Walker. 1st and 10, they will go play action. And there's Grant Cooper, and that's a touchdown for the tight end. Another one. And that might be his 7th of the year. I think I said last episode he's scored in 5 out of 6 games. Make it 6 out of 7. The first pass of the drive of the game goes for a score. Grant Cooper, we're certainly going to miss him next season. That's exactly how you draw it up here to start the game. Establish the run, and it opens up the play action for the touchdown pass. Now, studio update, as the Buffaloes just 2-8 on the season take down the number 7 Washington Huskies. Number 8 Florida defeats number 21 South Carolina. Number 10 Georgia Tech falls to Pitt. And Miami at number 6 there barely edges out a win against Virginia Tech. And some chaos going on here, around the nation. So after this episode, after this game, we're definitely going to take a look around. So it might end up being a longer episode. So, of course, feel free to skip around as you please. And now Dylan Mackey on for the kickoff. And I meant to bring a different strategy on this kickoff. I've just been going back to what I've been doing, and it hasn't really been working. We've been allowing some big returns lately as Barnes breaks it past the 35. And now we see the Bulldogs offense for the first time. And I think our strategy on defense this week, we're going to try and be aggressive, force a couple turnovers. Louisiana Tech actually one of the worst turnover differentials in the nation, as Ryan Higgins, the quarterback, hooks up with James Grant there on the first play. Like I was saying, I think we need to be a little aggressive. I think we've gone 2 weeks now without forcing a turnover, and that's not a winning recipe, as another hookup with Grant over the middle. The true sophomore, big impact early on. 44 yards on just 2 completions out of the gate here for Ryan Higgins. And now they give for King his first give. And that's a strong carry for Tevin King, 13 yards. And the Bulldogs striking quick, going for the answer. And now they reset here now inside the 10. Higgins. And he's going to be brought down. I think that was Philip Marshall who got home there, and that was the linebacker. We needed a big play here. They were just doing what they wanted, and Marshall, some good quickness there to hit the hole. And I think Robert Williamson, the corner on the corner blitz there, got home as well. Now this backs the Bulldogs down to the 13. They do come out with the 2 tight ends this time. And they'll go to the run, and a good play off the edge there. I think that was Daniel Armstrong. A good spin move off the edge there, and Armstrong makes a big run stop. And now a 3rd and goal from the 15. A good comeback there from Marquette. Looked like they were going to give up a touchdown quickly. Still a chance here for Higgins and the Bulldogs, though. And that's picked off by Robert Williamson. And he can't really, I thought he was going to be able to get a return up the sideline, but what an acrobatic catch there. Robert Williamson, our freshman, and that's his 3rd pick of the year. Robert Williamson, I mentioned it a bunch last recruiting cycle, but he was our prized target. Came in at a 70 overall, and he's going to be a 4-year starter, assuming he stays all 4 years. We'll start this time for Briggs, 4 yards up the middle. I said we needed to generate a turnover in this game, and we certainly didn't waste any time. Now we'll go with the read option here. Walker makes a couple men miss there in space. And it might be a face mask, I think, there at the end. And that's exactly right, so add on 15. Now 3 minutes left here in the first quarter, and I'll go back to Dowling. Good patience there. And Dowling finds a hole up the middle for 7. Entering this week, Dowling trails Theo Briggs by just over 100 yards as our all-time leading rusher. So we'll see who can kind of pull away there. Tyson Bolt, his first carry as he works to midfield. Dowling has kind of emerged as our feature back, but Briggs, he's always going to have his role in the offense. And now from the 50. I'm going to go back to the read option here. Good block there by Archibald as Walker gets ahead for the first down. Another good carry from the quarterback. 1st and 10. Walker in the shotgun. Takes the snap here. And he'll just dump that off for Dexter Dowling. Dowling breaks a tackle, but a lot of defenders there as that's limited to just 3. 2nd and 7. Theo Briggs now back out there. And a tough run there for 4. Sets him up 3rd and 2. And now we hit the minute mark here in this first quarter. Good push up front. An easy first down for Briggs. Now Marquette from the 28. I'm going to go back to the play action. A free rush there. And Walker gives it up. Higdon taking it the other way. Grant Cooper giving chase. Can't bring him down. Now Greg Walker catches up to bring him down. Now inside the 10. And the turnover costs us. I thought the play action was going to work again that time. And Walker coughs it up on the sack. Gray had a free rush there. No one was picking him up. And a good counter there from the Louisiana Tech defense. A huge swing that time. And Louisiana Tech pretty much picks it up from where they had it prior to their turnover. So we trade turnovers here as Higgins will pitch the king. And Davin Rice, a good tackle there, giving chase. And now we'll go over to the Louisiana Tech impact players before we reach the end of the first quarter. Ryan Higgins, redshirt junior quarterback. He's been a little banged up over the past few weeks, but still making the start here today. 86 overall, the highest rated player on the roster. 88 throw accuracy, not the strongest arm, but in this spread offense, they don't really take too many deep shots. Good awareness, although not going to give you much through the running game. More of a pocket passer. And 17 touchdown passes to 5 interceptions. A good completion percentage at 62.6 and 68.6 last year. 68.2 last year as a backup. A lot better than what you typically see here from most quarterbacks in this game. At running back, we've already seen a little bit here of Tevin King, 5'7", 176, a little undersized, but very good athlete, 96 acceleration, 94 agility, very shifty, more of a scat back type guy. 99 elusiveness, 93 ball carrier vision, although he's not going to really break tackles. And he has had a huge impact as a receiver. His running stats, though, 5 rushing touchdowns, 5.2 yards per carry, and through the passing game, 30 catches, 369 yards, and 3 receiving touchdowns with a long of 53. So he's contributing all over the offense and someone we definitely have to account for. The man they rely on in the passing game, Paul Turner, the senior receiver, 95 acceleration and 84 overall. Not the fastest guy out there, but a good route runner, reliable hands. And he's been very productive this season with 6 touchdowns, 10 last year, and approaching 1,000 yards, already a career high this year in yardage, averaging 14.5 yards per catch. That'll do it for the Bulldogs' impact players as they hurry back to the line, trying to make this one even. And they give that to King, and Williamson can't make the tackle, and Tevin King, who we just spoke about, takes that in for the score. The fumble was brought all the way down inside the 10, and Louisiana Tech converts, and they pick up where they left off prior to that last interception. Williamson forced the fumble last time, got the interception last time, but he couldn't make the tackle there. That strip sack hopefully not going to cost us. We had a lot of momentum going last time out. Things were going a little too smooth, I suppose. And we'll start dialing off again. Good blocking up front, and then he fumbles, and it's recovered by the Bulldogs. Oh my goodness. We finally we were executing our game plan, and then back-to-back turnovers. That is just absolutely bizarre. So now the Bulldogs take right back over now. Tremendous field position here at the 35. And they will go for a screen there for King. Redirects. And he does get 4 that time. That is going to wind us down to the end of the first quarter. What a swing. It looked like we were set up to take a 14-0 lead. And now it's 7-7. The Bulldogs in an opportune spot to take the lead. Now Louisiana Tech will start here in the second quarter with a 2nd and 6. Higgins will pass. And he goes for Grant over the middle. Grant already with 2 good catches. Drops that one. Now 3rd and 6 for the Bulldogs. Higgins will pass. Swings it out for Stevens. And he's brought down a team effort there from Juice Campbell and Kenny Johnson. And that forces the 4th down. It would be a 48-yard field goal. And it looks like they will bring out the field goal unit. I think their kicker an 80 overall. So we'll see if he can sink this one. I think that's going to go for a false start. And maybe knock them out of field goal range. Huge play there. And they're still going to go for it here. A 53-yard attempt now. After the false start backs them up. Could be the difference makers. The kick is up. And it's just off the front crossbar. No good. So that 5 yards exactly played a difference maker there. So now nothing off the fumble. As Marquette takes back over now. Walker back to pass. They'll start this drive with a pass. They'll go there for Scott Mwakpour. And good speed there underneath, but just 5 yards that time. His first catch of the day. I think that might have been the first Dexter Dowling fumble all season. Already 20 plays called here for Marquette. 17 running plays. And they'll go right back to it. Theo Briggs, he's hit hard there in the hole. Big play there. Now 3rd and 3. 3rd and 3 from the 43, and I like the numbers here. We'll just go to Briggs. Good push up front, and Briggs 5 yards, works towards midfield. Now Marquette, a fresh set from the 49. They go with the speed option. Walker's just going to keep that time, and that goes for 9. A good pickup. Didn't want to risk the toss. Now the Golden Eagles across midfield, 2nd and 1. And they'll go right back to Theo Briggs. Tough running as he redirects off the pile and gets 4 in the first. Walker now in the shotgun. Tyson Bolt checks into the game. They're going to go with the pass this time. That Archibald, a good out route there as he works into the red zone. His first grab there for 18. A clean start for Walker, 4 for 4. Obviously a heavy reliance on the running game thus far. Now Tyson Bolt will get the give. Just 3 yards that time for Bolt. And now Dexter Dowling back into the game. They go with the counter. And a decent run there for 4. Now 3rd and 3. Now 3rd and 3 will come out with Theo Briggs, joined by Jeff Harris there in the backfield. And Theo Briggs, a good run to the outside. That time for 8 down to the 6. 3 tight ends now on the field for the Golden Eagles. And they'll give it to Dowling again. Dowling ripped down by a face mask, but no call. Should have had an extra down to work with. Now 2nd and goal. Again, Marquette with 3 tight ends as Louisiana Tech goes heavy up front. And Dowling works it outside, and he gets the touchdown as Marquette takes the lead. 2-yard touchdown run for Dexter Dowling. And I want to say we're playing a clean game on offense, but you really can't say that with the 2 fumbles. And now the Bulldogs would take over now from the 25 following a touchback. And, we really can't take too much blame on those fumbles, just obviously out of our control. Higgins will pass. He's going to be sacked. And that's Davin Rice, the senior linebacker, getting down there and making the big play. Davin Rice, another senior we're really going to miss next year. Going to have to find a new middle linebacker. Now 2nd and 18, that really sets the Bulldogs back. And they will swing it there for King as he's tripped up. Still manages to pick up 4. Now 3rd and 14, and I don't know why you hurry back here if you're the Bulldogs. You don't convert. You're going to be giving it right back to Marquette with more time than you probably want. Higgins now to pass. And he's hit as he throws. A great play there by Daniel Armstrong. Ripped him down. 4th and 14, a 3 and out. Marquette's getting the ball back. Now we're going to send the house here. We typically don't really go for the pump block, but we'll give it a shot here. No one really gets home. I was a little early on that jump from Philip Marshall. Pinson now. Some space as he works it to midfield. Now we have 2:05 remaining in the half. All our timeouts. Half the field to work with. Dusty Alexander checks into the game at running back. True freshman. And we'll go back to the play action. And we try to go deep downfield there for Pinson, but we're hit as we throw. Good rush there by Lloyd Grogan, the safety. Alexander's still out there. And we will give it to him this time. As he works up the middle, and they're going to call a face mask this time. And we're bailed out. Fresh set of downs. Working down 15 more yards. Now that puts us up to the 31. Marquette empty this time. Walker's going to pass. Go for Scott and Walkpour over the middle. Good catch there. 14 yards inside the red zone. Marquette back out there empty. Walker's going to take the snap. I'll go over the middle for Cooper, and that was a bad read. I saw the linebacker lurking there. Luckily, it's dropped. An interception is exactly what we would have happen at this point. Now Tyson Bolt will get the carry as they try to work some clock. 3rd and 5 now. Less than a minute remaining in the half. Walker's going to pass. Pressure breaks down as he just gets rid of that one. And we will settle for a field goal. Now senior kicker Dylan Mackey on for the attempt to extend the lead. And it's good. 17-7. Marquette now up 10 with 46 seconds remaining for Louisiana Tech. Better result that time on the kickoff. Now let's see if Ryan Higgins can work a quick scoring drive here. Take the snap, back to pass. He has his man Grant over the middle. And another good hook up there to the sophomore. Now the Bulldogs down to the 34. 40 seconds remaining. Higgins to the sideline. That's almost picked off by Kenny Johnson. Couldn't quite hold on going across his body, but a good play nonetheless. 36 seconds now. Just 68 yards in this first half thus far for the Bulldogs. Most of their yardage coming on that fumble recovery ran down by the DN. Now 2nd and 10. They'll dump that off for King, and he's brought down a short gain, and they're probably going to have to burn another timeout here. Still, no, they're just going to hurry it up, and time is going to chip off the clock. Now 3rd and 8, they do get set quick, but the tight end in motion, that's going to kill a few more seconds, and they do finally get the play call. Now Higgins will pass. He has a man there towards the sideline. That's Grant again, and Kenny Johnson rips him out of bounds at the 40 now. James Grant now over 80 receiving yards already in this first half. 12 seconds here for the Bulldogs. Looks like they'll go with the screen. Good blocking as King works towards the sideline down to the 35. Now 7 seconds remaining, just one timeout for the Bulldogs. 2nd and 5, you really can't take a sack here if you're Louisiana Tech. And they're going to fire that one up for Paul Turner and Demetrius Bush. A strong hit there. And that certainly gets them in field goal range as they were on the fringe there. Now at the 15, 2 seconds remaining. A good drive there engineered by Higgins. And this one to make it a 17-10 game going into halftime. Kick is up, and that one is good. And Louisiana Tech gets some back here. So it's going to be 17-10 heading into halftime. A good game played by our Marquette Golden Eagles. Probably could have had at least another touchdown on the board had it not been for one of those fumbles. But, you know, we'll stick to what we're doing. It's really working. And our defense is playing well as well, although they did give up that quick strike drive there. Still a very good game thus far. Good response after our flat offensive showing last week. And I think it just goes to show we really have to rely more so on our running game. And that Robert Williamson pick, I loved watching that. Not so much that fumble, though, from Greg Walker, as Dexter Dowling coughed it up as well as you see there. We're going to limit the turnovers now in the second half, and hopefully we could force one more and win the turnover battle in this game. Now Mackey offer the kickoff to start us here in the second half. See if they take this one out. And Barnes will just knee it, and we get another touchback. Louisiana Tech starts here in the shotgun, and they'll fake it. And he's going to be brought down. That's Mike Johnson, the sophomore D-end. He made an interception in his first career start, and now a good swim move there off the edge, and he gets the sack. And a huge play here to start the second half for Marquette. Now 2nd and 18. And they'll give to King. And he's taken down there in the lane by Daniel Armstrong. A 3rd and 15 now for the Bulldogs. Marquette set up to force a 3 and out on this opening drive of the half. Now Higgins will take the snap. And he'll dump that off for King. And Daniel Armstrong gets home to force him out, as Marquette will force the 3 and out. Pinson now set for another punt return. Good block picked up there as he works it to the left. Decent 12-yard return down to the 44. Now Dexter Dowling will be the guy out there as the running back to start this half. They'll go with the play action. That's Grant Cooper towards the sideline as he works to the 50. 2nd and 4 will get Dusty Alexander a touch here. Cooper in motion. And there's Alexander, finds the lane. A nice slip through as he gets 7. And now 3 backs out there in this set. They'll fake to Dowling. Walker will keep. And a good play there playing contain on the edge limits Walker to just 3. Now 2nd and 7 for Marquette. A quick dump off there for Archibald. And that one just gets 5, but it sets him up now 3rd and 2. Now Tyson Bolt out there in the short yardage. And he will get the carry. But he doesn't get the first down, 4th and inches. And I think, we're going for it in this situation. We do bring out Jeff Harris and Theo Briggs in the backfield. And Briggs gets more than enough. Pushes a man off and gets 9 up the middle. We might be able to get Scott and Wakpour or Pinson maybe. If that safety veers towards Pinson, then maybe that'll open up Scott and Wakpour if he can beat the man coverage. But going play action here on this 1st and 10. And nothing was open. Very well covered. As Walker's just going to have to get rid of this one. I didn't see anything open at all on that one. We're not going to force a shot in the end zone, but we were looking for it. Now 2nd and 10. Scott Dixon in motion. Dexter Dowling will get it. And he's stopped there at the line. Now 3rd and 10 for the Golden Eagles. Walker out there empty. The Golden Eagles 3 out of 6 on 3rd down thus far. 4 minutes remaining in the 3rd quarter. Walker takes the snap. He has a man there at the sideline. It's the freshman Kevin Coleman. And he makes the 11-yard grab for the 1st down. Walker and Coleman were part of the same recruiting class And they're going to have a lot more hookups in the future. And they'll give this time for Tyson Bolt as he edges past a man, 3 yards that time. 2nd and 7 now at the 10. A very well manufactured drive here from Greg Walker and the Marquette offense. Walker now will pass. Sits in the pocket a little too long. And we're going to be sacked. Now 3rd and 13. That one sets us back. That's Dedrick Harmon, a true freshman. And he's a 75 overall here for the Bulldogs. So pound for pound, maybe one of the best players on their team. And I don't think Tyson Bolt's going to hold up there one-on-one. Now 3rd and 13 for the Golden Eagles. I don't know if you play this conservative and just try and go for the field goal, make it a 2-score game. Or if you try and go for a shot here. Looks like they are going to pass. They'll just dump it off there for Scott Nwakpor. And he just almost gets the first down on that second effort. And I think that changes things here. I think we're going to go for it. Great job there at the end of the run by Scott Nwakpor, really working towards the first down marker. And here at the 4th and 1, we're going for it. Give it to the fullback, Jeff Harris, and he works it in for the touchdown. And Marquette takes a 24-10 lead. I was all but ready to settle for a field goal in that opportunity, but that catch by Scott Nwakpor sets up the Jeff Harris touchdown. And we're now up 14 here late in the 3rd. And we'll get another studio update following the Dylan Mackey extra point as number 17 Georgia takes down Auburn. Not a good season from the Tigers as they fall to 4-6. Todd Gurley, a very good game there for the Bulldogs. And Georgia advances to 9-2. A very good season there. Now Mackey on for the kickoff. That's going to be fielded at the 1 by Barnes. Good blocking there to the right as Dalton Corbett works off a block to make the tackle. Otherwise, I think Barnes was going for a little bit more up the sideline. Now, Louisiana Tech trying to get something going after a 3-and-out to start the half. Higgins back to pass. He has a man. That's Stevens, the tight end. He makes a man miss there in space and then brought down after 15 yards. I don't know if I mentioned it earlier, but Louisiana Tech very inexperienced at tight end and very inexperienced on the offensive line as well. Higgins to pass. And he's going to be brought down. That's Gavin Battaglia who rips. Antonio Carr, the true freshman, coming off the edge, and he rips him down hard. Let's see how he won this time. Kind of went across the face to a swim move. Carr there rips him down, and a very good season thus far from the true freshman in a rotational role. Our pass rush has really been getting home this game, and I kind of thought that was going to be a strong point against this poor offensive line. Now 2nd and 18, Higgins back to pass. They go for a screen here to King. And that's read well by Marquette as he's brought down for a loss. Now 3rd and 20. 3rd and a mile here for the Bulldogs. 1 for 5 now on 3rd down. Really have to convert here. They have a man over the middle. It's for Johnson, but very short. Just 7. And now 4th and 13. Looks like they're going to have to punt again. And now Marquette takes over from the 19. Another give for Dowling. And he's limited to just 2 yards. 2nd and 8. Walker back to pass. I'll go over for Scott Nwakpor, and it's picked off by Xavier Woods. And he's just brought down there by Grant Cooper. Our 3rd turnover of the game. And I don't know why we're passing there. I mean, still not going to abandon the passing game, but probably should have just went for the run this deep in our own territory. But we're trying not to go just all run as Walker coughs it up again, this time through the air. So now Louisiana Tech, some much instilled life as they take over from the 1-yard line. Some very good field position for them off these turnovers. And King on his first carry will take it in. And we have a whole new ball game now as we couldn't even get out of the 3rd without changing the whole trajectory of this ball game. Now going to be 24-17 and another deflating interception from Greg Walker. Extra points good. Louisiana Tech back within a touchdown. Now Chance Pelland a chance to return this one, make a play. Good blocking up front as he works it down to the 30. So we're now -2 in the turnover differential against one of the worst turnover differential teams in the nation. We started off so well, and I think now we're at a -2 on the season. We'll go with the give here for Theo Briggs, and it'll take us into the 4th quarter as we are leading 24-17, a chance to kind of cement this win, hopefully, with a scoring drive here, but definitely not taking this one for granted, and we got to keep executing. We can't get lackadaisical as we just were on that last interception. Now 2nd and 4, as we start the fourth. Walker will pass. He has Grant Cooper, and a misfire there as Cooper could have took that upfield for some. So instead now we have 3rd and 4, and Walker's going to pass again. He'll dump that off for Pinson, and Pinson makes the grab for 12 yards to the 49. Correction, to the 47. Marquette with 17 first downs, just 7 for the Bulldogs. And they'll give it to Dowling. Good edge play there as Vernon Butler was crashing down, but Dowling able to scurry away, picks up 2. Now 2nd and 8, Marquette comes out with 5 receivers. That Archibald in motion. He'll get the jet sweep. And Archibald picks up 6, sets him up 3rd and 2, now across midfield. Now 2 tight ends on the field. Scott Dixon in motion. They'll get for Dexter Dowling, and he's going to have a big run here. A big pancake out there in space by Scott Dixon. Picks up another one. Dowling past the 10, and he dives into the end zone for the touchdown. 45 yards for Dexter Dowling, and Marquette adds another one here. Now 31-17, and some much-needed momentum for the Marquette. Good block there out in space by Scott Dixon. Absolutely pulverized someone, and I said earlier, we're really going to miss Grant Cooper at tight end, but we're also really going to miss Scott Dixon, as we're going to have to replace both of them. We have Malcolm Graham waiting in the wings. He'll be a senior. And then we have 1 freshman commit, Jack Mason, more of a blocking tight end. And then we have 2 that we're currently still scouting, as we need to bring in at least one of them, but ideally we get both. Now Dylan Mackey on the kickoff as Marquette now up by 2 scores. Abraham will take it this time. Good seam. Breaks the tackle. And then finally Chance Pellin there to track him down, as he worked it down to the 43. Now Louisiana Tech, some good field position here. They'll start with a run for King, and he's wrapped up in the backfield. That's Mike Johnson again making a big play. Had the sack earlier, and that time a big impact against the run. Louisiana Tech set for just their 30th offensive snap of the day. Ryan Higgins out there empty. Go to the sideline there for his boy Wheatley, and Ken Wheatley no gain, pushed out, now 3rd and 13. The Bulldogs just setting themselves back a bunch here in the second half. Another 3rd and long. Higgins will pass. And another screen here for King. And he's brought down by Davin Rice. Another play for a loss of yardage. And this Marquette defense stifling the Louisiana Tech offense in the second half. And they are going to go for the punt here. Not much time remaining, but 4th and 15, you probably have better odds at trying to get the ball back, especially considering we've turned it over 3 times thus far. Pinson works it to the right, and so he'll take it to the 30. And now if you're the Golden Eagles, you probably don't throw the ball a single time on this drive, just trying to let the clock run down. Theo Briggs will start us off this time, 6 yards. And now Dowling back out there after the long touchdown run, the last time out. 5 minutes now left on the clock. And Sean Murphy getting over on a pull, and Dowling gets out into space for 7 yards. Dowling now over 100 yards on the ground. And I think I mentioned earlier how Briggs and he were about 100 yards separated as our all-time leading rusher. So during this game, he's gained 40 yards on Briggs. So with 2 games remaining in their careers, it's going to be interesting to see who comes out on top. And we'll get Dusty Alexander back in action as he takes it 6 yards up the middle. Now 4 minutes remaining as we'll take this true clock approach. Alexander another give. Cooper got out there in space to pick up a block, but Alexander brought down there 6 yards again for the freshman. Now 3.5 remaining. Set up a screen there for Jordan Pinson, and he had some space. Maybe should have cut it outside, try to go for the spin, and that's limited to just 3. Dowling back out there with the 3 tight ends. Malcolm Graham, number 8, out there in space, picking up a block, and another good carry from Dowling. He gets 11. I don't know if Dowling has had a 100-yard game yet. We had a 100-yard performance with Theo Briggs, who's now back out there a few weeks back, but I don't know if Dowling has hit that mark yet. And now Briggs brought down by a face mask, a missed call, but we don't even care at this point. The Bulldogs do take their first timeout, so a first down, and you pretty much win the game. Theo Briggs back with it. Works off block. Gets 4. Now 3rd and 2. 1 timeout remaining for Louisiana Tech. Now Marquette from the 23. And Walker will keep on the read option. Has some good blocking. Still going now past the 10 as he's dragging a man down to the 6. And a 17-yard rush there for Walker. And no more timeouts for the Bulldogs. And now Briggs back into the game. And he'll get the give this time. Works ahead for 3. And probably good he doesn't find the end zone, as that's going to chip away another 40 seconds or so. And now a minute and a half remaining. And they'll go back to Briggs, and he's going to work it in this time for the touchdown as Marquette jumps up 38-17 with just a minute 27 remaining. Theo Briggs, he finds the end zone. We had 2 for Dowling, wanted to get Briggs 1. And there is some question marks surrounding who's going to be our all-time leading rusher, but absolutely none regarding who's our all-time leading touchdown man. Is Briggs, far and away the most touchdowns of any, Marquette Golden Eagle thus far. And now Mackey on for the kickoff as Marquette extends their lead. Barnes will take this one out. Works back to the left side as Dalton Corbett drags him down. So a minute 23 remaining for the Bulldogs, and they really have not gotten anything going here in the second half. Like I said before, really setting themselves back with a lot of negative plays, but now obviously they're just probably going to be taking shots down the field. Hopefully we can corral an interception and get our turnover differential a little bit better. We'll start with a quick pass there for Johnson, stop short of the first down marker as time will continue to tick. And they will go with the spike, 3rd and 1, 1:08 remaining. Now 3rd down here for the Bulldogs. Stevens in motion. Higgins will pass, of course. And he has his running back, King, up the seam. And that's a 20-yard catch for the running back across midfield. Now a minute left. Louisiana Tech across midfield. And they're going to go deep. And that's Paul Turner. And Demetrius Bush makes the tackle. I was back there in the zone. I bit up towards the line. And we got beat deep. And a face mask on top of that, so half the distance. And the Bulldogs in a prime spot to get a touchdown and get back in it a little bit. Now 1st and goal for the Bulldogs from the 5. Higgins across the middle for Turner. And he stops short. Trying to finish what he started, but we're not letting up that easy. As they're going to have to hurry back and maybe go for another spike. That's exactly what we get. Now 39 seconds remaining, 3rd and goal. And now the give for King, and he drags a man into the end zone with him. Tevin King, a touchdown. Louisiana Tech not giving up just yet. Going to go for the onside kick, and after that, that's all but going to do it. And we'll get a final studio update here as we wind down. And it sees Baylor defeats Texas in a horrible season from the Longhorns. 3-6. My goodness, Seth Russell, Shock Linwood there for the Baylor Bears as they advance to 5-4. And now we pretty much almost exactly double Louisiana Tech's yardage. 404 for the Golden Eagles, 203 for the Bulldogs. Scott Dixon recovers the onside kick, stumbles back. And one kneel down and we're out of here. And now the Golden Eagles line up in the victory formation, and you always love to see that. As we're getting out of here with a victory, the Marquette Golden Eagles now 8-3, and we've hit our season win goal. We close next week with Central Michigan for our Year 3 Senior Day, and we're going to be saying goodbye to a lot of faces and a lot of impact players who have been around for the majority of this series. So it's going to probably be the most sentimental Senior Day of the series thus far, but we're ready for it, and we're ready for our 9th win. 8-3 now, and we have a pretty good matchup next week against Central Michigan as Dexter Dowling, the player of the game, 115 yards on 16 carries, a couple scores, and he's nearing our all-time leading rusher. As like I've been saying, him and Theo Briggs are going to battle it out here in the final 2 games of the season. So 38-24, clean. It was a clean game, relatively speaking, I guess. We coughed it up 3 times, 2 times there from Greg Walker. Only 1 interception, though. You don't mind 1 interception per start, I guess you'll say, especially from a true freshman. But this is going to do it here from Louisiana. We're going to kick it back to Marquette headquarters and check out some stuff around the nation and get a little recruiting update and see where we stand in bowl projections. Now, following a nice victory where we have improved to 8-3, we'll get just a quick recruiting dive here. I would recommend you refer to the end of episode 38 if you want a more in-depth review. We have gotten just 1 more commit since then, so I do want to uncover his scouting and see what he turns out to be. But first, we're going to unlock our first recruit of the year. And Ted Ross, here with Craig Watkins, we thought these guys were gimmies early on in the year, and now we're really battling here down the stretch, especially Ross, obviously locked out. So we'll go ahead and unlock that and see what we jump up to. And we do surpass the Hawkeyes, but I don't know what's going to happen with. I think both of these tight ends are probably going to trickle into the offseason. And with Craig Watkins here, Michigan was like our biggest counterpart, our biggest opposition, but they have now jumped out and plummeted altogether. So really just battling here with Notre Dame and Michigan State. And a reason why I was willing to use our only unlock of the year is because I don't think we're in danger of slipping out of Watkins, and neither Carter or Wright either, because Carter we're still leading by a good bit, although he does visit Oregon this week, and we're really hoping that we can hang on and get Carter, and then Zachary Wright along with Ryan Hudson. We actually just ended up offering Hudson. If Wright doesn't want to come here, whatever. So Hudson kind of just a backup plan. We really never poured points into him until later on. So we're hoping now we can maybe pull away for him. Either way, we just want one of these guys. If we end up getting both and have a little bit of overload at the end, so be it. Taylor Jones, he was a late guy we started pouring into points into, but he was on our board pretty much the whole way. Really not much opposition for him. And Martin Diggs, we needed to add an in-season quarterback, and he was the guy we ultimately went with. After we added a few other guys, but after scouting, he turned out to be the best, although it's only 55%. We only have his accuracy there at 72, although he's sitting at a 65 overall right now, and we are leading UMass, and it looks like he actually has his visit with us this week, so we'll try and put on a good passing performance for him here on Senior Day and try and give us a boost here in his recruiting. So we missed out. We'll go down real quick. We did miss out here on Josh Richards. He ended up committing to Iowa State. He was our only corner on our recruiting board. We actually have committed a few extra safeties, and one we're going to transition to corner. But Richards, we're really hoping he would come through and flip from Iowa State, but just not the case. So we had to add a few more guys, and ultimately we're going to start pouring points here into James Washington out of Bolingbrook, Illinois, and then here BJ Lewis out of Columbia Heights, Minnesota. Both of these guys halfway scouted, 65 overall and a 64 overall. We might end up just offering both of them next week. It'll be the final week. So actually, at this point, we actually skipped through a bye week. So we're 2 weeks. We're an extra week, from the game we just played. But Washington and Lewis, hopefully we can get one of them to come in. And then we added a JUCO kicker here, Cody Dubzinski. We have Dylan Mackey set for graduation. We have another kicker waiting in the wings, but we're not really sure about him. He's only a 60-something overall, and his kick power is very low. So we're hoping that Dubzinski commits and gives us a boost in the kicking game, but we actually, after halfway scouting, don't even have his kick power or kick accuracy unlocked. But now we'll go down real quick, and we'll just uncover the rest of Jason Taylor here, who we committed recently. It was an easy get for him. I don't think we started pouring points into him until a few weeks into the season, but no one was really going for him. So 67 overall after scouting. You hate the zone at 56, but hopefully he can compensate with some good speed. And he goes up 1 to a 68, 73 block shed, 70 man, 73 press goes down, but good tackling trait to 85 pursuit, 83 hit power, and the speed not bad at 84, although you wish he was a little faster, but good acceleration, although very bad agility. So someone probably more of a strong safety. I mean, I said that about Dominic Green here, the athlete, and he turned out to only be a 76 speed, so I'm not really sure what we're going to do with him at all, to be quite honest. And I'll just scroll through here the rest of our recruits. And like I said, I'd refer to episode 38, the end there. We talk a little bit more about these guys, but I want to squeeze in a few more things here, so I don't want to use up too much time talking about recruiting. And now we'll take a look at the top 25, as Texas A&M and Ohio State have been leapfrogging each other here at the top the past few weeks. Both teams 11-0. The Aggies finish at Missouri, and Ohio State finishes versus number 6 Michigan. So whoever wins the game this year maybe could find themselves in the national championship, although Michigan with the 2 losses, I don't think that would be the case. Maybe if they won the Big Ten, although even then I'm not sure. UCLA here at 11-0, and they'll finish at number 10 USC. So some huge matchups this week. We'll see if the Aggies can finish undefeated, and we'll see if Buckeyes can take down Michigan in one of the biggest matchups in that series history. UCLA against USC, a huge game, of course. And then the number 5 Gators will finish versus number 21 Florida State. TCU lost their first game of the year, 50-49 against Oklahoma. Wow, and last time we checked, the Sooners actually have the top recruiting class in the nation. The Horned Frogs undefeated, and 50-49, what a game that is. Typical Big 12 football. Boise State, the top group of 5 team here at 10-1, number 8. West Virginia in the top 10. And USC 7-4, but still number 10. Georgia They play number 14 Georgia Tech, so a big game there. Clemson against number 23 South Carolina. Kansas State, number 15 Pittsburgh. They had just fired their coach, I think, last season or the year before. They hired Bobby Petrino, and I remember seeing he inherited like a top 25 recruiting class, and now in Bobby Petrino's first or second year, they're 8-2, number 16. And Alabama loses to Arizona. Wow, as they fall from 9 to 17. They've lost 2 of their last 3. Now Notre Dame loses to Wake Forest, and they're now number 18, falling from 6. Wow, big upsets this week. Army, then Navy. You love to see Army over Navy. Always Army beat Navy. Love that final matchup of the year. That'll be cool if it's a matchup of ranked teams there in that rivalry game. Florida State falls to Syracuse. Washington State, South Carolina, Oregon, and Michigan State falls from 13, losing to Penn State. And if you see here, we're actually receiving votes. We're receiving 182 votes. You see San Diego State also there. That's actually our bowl projection, I believe. We'll check on that here shortly. Arkansas State up there. We lost to them earlier in the season. UL Lafayette, we beat them earlier in the year. And actually, Connecticut was receiving votes before this past week that was Sims. So they were up there. We suffered a bad loss to them last time out. Now for the Heisman watch. And all year, it's just been Brett Hundley and Johnny Manziel. Both teams undefeated here for the senior quarterbacks, and it's going to be an interesting race. Let's look at the numbers. Only 39 touchdowns to 2 interceptions, nearly 3,000 passing yards, completing 69% of his passes, almost 700 rushing yards, and 7 rushing touchdowns. Manziel looks like he might have got hurt last game. Only 7 pass attempts, a couple carries, but yeah, probably Hundley the guy at this point. Manziel, 30 passing touchdowns, 8 interceptions, 2,783 passing yards, and rushing less than Hundley. So Hundley definitely looks like the guy. Then you have TJ Yeldon, Vadley, and Trevon Boykin. Now we're here at bowl projections, and we're actually slated to play in the famous Idaho Potato Bowl. Last week they had us in the Poinsettia Bowl against San Diego State, but now instead we're slotted down to the famous Idaho Potato Bowl. So we really need a win here in the final week to give us a better bowl game. I'd much rather be in the Poinsettia than the Idaho Potato Bowl, but we'll see what we get. UConn here slated against New Mexico. And we'll just scroll all the way down to see the major bowls. So it is Ohio State A&M projected final, the Cotton Bowl, South Carolina, Kansas State, Orange Bowl, Miami, West Virginia, Sugar Bowl, Florida versus Navy, Fiesta Bowl, TCU, Boise State, and then the Rose Bowl, Michigan, UCLA. That'd be a good one. But this is where I'm going to leave you, folks, as I'll just scroll through the award finalists. And we are actually Coach of the Year finalists this year, so hats off to Lance Leipold. We had a nice game this week, reviewed recruiting a little bit, and looked around the nation. So it's going to be an interesting final week here as we have our Year 3 senior day, and we're set to lose a bunch of players. I think I mentioned 22 graduates we have, so we're going to see a huge turnover going into Year 4 of this dynasty, but we have to enjoy these players while we still have them, as you know, at this point going on, we won't have any more, manually created players on this team. It'll be all recruiting guys that we brought in. So as always, everybody, it's been real, and be well. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.